None of them can hang, running with the gang. No need to explain. I pull up then it's they cannot contain me moving through the lane. Every little setback, I step back and then it's none of them can hang, running with the gang. No need to explain. I pull up and it's they cannot contain me moving through the lane. Every little setback, I step back and then it's I gave them nuggets and knowledge. They tried to put nicks in my armor, but I've been mellow since college. Made this vixen a mama, and I'm still blazing trails out here amidst all
What
the
is
drama.
going
I
on?
keep going
Welcome
out of
back
love,
to
not
He's on
conditions
Fire
and promise.
podcast, you guys.
Plus,
I know everyone is probably feeling a little bit better after last night, but before we get into Game 6, before we get into potentially Booker being back, I really do want to touch on the rest of the game last night. But first, we need to bring in the rest of the crew. We got to bring in Jay. What's going on, man?
I'm doing all right. The nerves are gone, and I'm just anxious because, usually teams that are tied 2-2 in a series, when one wins game 5, they usually end up winning the series. So I'm just going to throw that out there. It doesn't mean we're going to clear the next game, but, you never know. But, just history tells itself.
I feel you. Randy, Suns fan Randy in the building. What's
the
going
deal?
on?
What's the deal, man? What's the deal?
How you feeling after last night?
I'm back against the wall. I feel like we still one of the best teams in the league with our back against the wall. So we got to stop. We got to give them a little bit of, leeway. Let them work.
Yeah. Hey, I want to go back to Roy's. No, not Roy. Sorry. No, let's get the job done tomorrow. Vlogs. That's what your motto was this whole time. I mean, JJ, you were just all like, yo, that win doesn't matter. On to the next one. Job's not done. Given the anxiety and everything that we were all feeling at one point in the series, do you feel like it's a job's not done mentality?
Yeah, absolutely. We're in round 1. We still haven't finished round 1. We finally got the game that we've been praying for. From game 2 on. We only shot about a 35% from the arc last night, and it felt like we're shooting 90. We've been such in a bad shooting slump as of late, and we finally had that game where we're like, okay, it looks like this team is back, and it was just last night in general was what the Suns fans needed and what NBA fans needed to further validate the Suns going forward, and just overall that game last night was absolute domination from top to bottom. The score is a little misleading. Pelicans never really came close to, chopping down that lead. But no, I feel really good. Job's not finished. That's nowhere near.
No, absolutely. Randy, I saw your video last night. We didn't get a chance to talk after a couple of the other games when we went down or we were tied, excuse me. I was feeling the nerves. I was nervous. I was upset even. I had some personal things going on, so I really needed that win on Sunday just to, kind of ease everything else out. How nervous were you going into the game? How nervous or anxious were you?
No, I was for sure anxious like the whole entire day. Like for Sunday, I was just like, oh man, we can go up. Or Sunday was when it went 2-2, right? If I'm not mistaken, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I was just like, oh man, we need to get this win just because like I just don't want to play around with the Pelicans just because I'm getting to a point where it's just like I'm getting frustrated just watching them run our sets, watching them do so many things that we do. And it's just like they know us so well. So it's just like I guarantee you, like no other team is gonna play us like this. I mean, I feel like it's a good thing. It's definitely a good thing in disguise, just because if we do run into Milwaukee and they did beat the Bulls tonight, you know what I'm saying? I feel like they're like a Kmart version of Milwaukee. You know what I mean? So it definitely is. You know what I mean?
Is that your fire alarm
man
going off
again?
He's on fire.
But yeah, man. So I think that it's definitely a Walmart version of Milwaukee, a little bit of the taste of what it is.
But yeah, everything going on there.
He's got everything going on over there. No, I really want to hone in and focus on that. I don't know if anybody saw my troll job on the New Orleans Pelicans fans earlier today. Some of those dudes, I was even trying to give them props. I was like, you guys are not a typical 9th seed. You guys got 2 guys that can create their own buckets, go and do their own thing. You guys got hot at the right time. You win the play-in game. You start getting some momentum. Plus, you got Willie Green, who knows our team better than anybody. And they started going back at me like, we're not that good. We're 9th seed, and we have the 1 seed shook. You guys should be scared. And I'm like, the hell? I just try to give you guys – I can't even talk to anybody.
Yeah, you can't. Not right now. It's just like – I feel like I don't know, man. I don't know if it's just because we've become the villains now or what it is, or we're just watching the tide, like literally watching the tide change, and it's so crazy just to see like all the Suns hate, like, or all the people just like, oh, like I can't wait for them to fall off, and it's so crazy. Like so many people have been coming at me crazy with all these like crazy.
It's funny.
There's fine. That's fine. One game at a time. One game at a time. Real quick before we move on from Game 5 recap, I do need to touch on Mikal Bridges.
Woo.
I have been clamoring for him to have that type of defensive performance. I knew the offense would come. I knew he would have a 30-point game at some point in the playoffs. That's just what he's been doing. He's just that dude that when he gets hot, he just does it, and all of a sudden he has 26 points, and you had no idea. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there was a point in the game Brandon Ingram only had 13 points, and I look over at my friend last night, and I'm like, man, this guy can't miss. And then it shows the box score, 13 points. It's like, that's a loud 13 points. You know, there's a big difference sometimes between like a loud 15, 16, 17 points if you get it in a spurt, or a dude that does it the whole game, ends up at 31. You're like, wait, what? There's a big discrepancy and difference in that. Mikal did it kind of quietly, except for the slams at the end, which was really nice. But defensively, if he's supposed to be a defensive player of the year and on that first team all defense, he needs to make an impact. And everybody was getting lit up by Brandon Ingram. Credit to Brandon Ingram, man. He's had an out-of-his-mind series. Just an absolute out-of-his-mind series. He's been killing it. I'm curious to see if his pinky finger is going to hurt him at all, because he missed like 3 straight shots at the end of the game after he was like holding on to it and everything.
Yeah.
But the way Mikal came out and asserted himself on defense, like we weren't going over screens and dropping. We were almost hedging. We weren't playing drop anymore. We were attacking on defense. We were stripping the ball, and when we had loose balls, we went out and ran. And that's when we're playing Phoenix Suns basketball. But it all starts on defense, y'all. It all starts on defense. That's how we're going to win this series, is on defense, because it's not offense, because they know what we're doing on offense. It's all going to be defense. So, JJ, you're watching Mikal Bridges last night. You're watching him get his 4th block or his 3rd steal. What are you thinking? What's going through your mind?
We talked about this a couple weeks ago. It was literally a hypothetical that ended up happening. It was like, if Chris Paul or Booker was to go out, who's going to be the one that steps up besides Aiden? Because we that's a given. Like, we need Aiden to step up, and all of us said on the pod that one of the twins needs to step up, and it was either Cam Johnson or Mikal. And like Mikal stole the show last night. I tweeted earlier this morning, just reflecting with just previous Suns players and stuff, and I haven't seen such a dominant playoff game on both sides of the court by one player since like Sean Marion. He put up the numbers, and then defensively,
did better, bro.
Yeah, like the game last night was absolutely ridiculous. So when Mikal was on Brandon Ingram, he shot 2 of 7. That's 28%. And caused 3 turnovers. Then with CJ McCollum, when Mikal was on him, he was 10 of 32. McCollum is shooting 31% and causing 4 turnovers. So, like, my biggest issue in this with this series so far is that Mikal will always switch off of Shamet or Campaign, or just like whoever the other guard or wing is. And like, they were just allowing McCollum and Brandon Ingram to get to their spots. And how Monty, put together, I mean, like, I'm pretty sure they're watching this, because literally everything we said we wanted adjustment wise happened last night. It was kind of overwhelming.
Literally everything.
I want to talk about that too.
Plus, it further validated that we're not just talking out of our ass. We kind of know what we're talking about. So it was kind of nice to see that.
Only Pelicans fans said we didn't.
Yeah, so like we'll get to the fans, because I was in a couple of Twitter spaces last night. But Yeah, so like how Monty had the defense was pushing Brandon Ingram to the left, and Brandon Ingram loves going to the right because the ball is in his fucking shooting hand and he's already in motion. There's nothing you can do with that. When Mikael and Shannon, and we're going to talk about Shannon, he had a great game. Stats don't really say otherwise, but he was on McCollum's ass. But they were pushing Brandon Ingram either out towards the arc or to the left, and he just either dished it or threw up a shot that he didn't want to take. And we've been like harping on that, preaching for just some sort of physicality that when it came to Brandon Ingram, like make him work for those points. And we saw last night he couldn't do it. But to go further into Mikael, he had a quiet 31, but definitely in the second half, you felt like him just getting hot because he was talking shit. He was running his mouth. He was pounding his chest. And he was getting everybody high. That stadium was so loud. I was listening through I was listening through the Valley Sports thing. I was listening to Eddie and all of them. And it was just absolutely crazy. And I love Eddie Johnson. He's all like, man, it's been so long since we've heard, the stadium this loud, and, just feels like at home and stuff. But like Mikael absolutely went off, and it's definitely what this team needed. Just about everybody kind of bounced back.
But we'll talking about all that. Let's talk what Randy wants to talk about, which is all the switches and change-ups and everything that we did. We came on here. We said we wanted to see a double big lineup since game 2. We said we wanted to see Aaron Holiday in some role. I think 6 minutes is a good start. I think he could go 6 to 8 minutes, and he could definitely be effective. I agree. We didn't want to see Torrey Craig anymore.
I don't want to see Cameron Payne. I don't want to see
Cameron Payne is anymore. Close. I'm telling you, he's close. I'm telling you. Cameron
It was
Payne
cool.
Is close.
Last night was cool because he gave me 15. It was cool. He gave me the energy, and like I feel like I underestimate how infectious like his energy can be when it's actually like good energy. So like I'll give him that, but like I'm high like 80% tired of just watching him go to the hole and blow layups and end up on the floor.
He's close.
Granted, like they haven't been like the foul, like we've been losing a lot. So I feel like for me, like some of the keys just in the series, like we're not going to win the rebounding battle. So I've already accepted that. So we need to win the turnover battle. We need to have less turnovers, and we need to convert points on turnovers. So every time, you know what I'm saying, they do, we need to convert. And like I said, we need to make good shots and stuff like that. But obviously we're going to lose the foul battle. And we're going to lose the rebounding battle. So we just got to be like super tight. You know what I mean?
And here's the thing. We've been losing the rebounding battle. That's fine. But it was only 47-40 last night. Keep in mind, you missed the front end of a free throw. It's technically an offensive team rebound for that team. So sometimes those rebounding numbers can be skewed to a point. Also, we've been killing them on assists. That means a lot of their stuff is either off of offensive rebounds. So that's definitely something to look for, or they're just having to create their own shots. And when a team is consistently having to create their own shots, like the 7 seconds or less Phoenix Suns, you're not going to be able to do a lot of things in a 7-game series, right?
And then another thing,
anybody to win 4 games for that, it's hard. Go ahead.
I was gonna say another thing too is we have to make the threes. Now I'm saying we have to go 80% from 3, but I'm saying like we at least have to make the open ones because we blow a whole lot of open ones.
We went 37% last night. I'll take that all day long.
We went was it 10 for 37? 10 for 37. So we have to
27.
hit at least 10 for 27. I'm sorry. Yeah. So we have to hit at least 10 threes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like looking at some of the games that we lost, like we only made 4 or 5 threes, and it's just like, well, the games that we did win, we made like 8+. So it's just like, that's like the real main difference. You know what I mean?
We're the better team. Team. It's just, are we going to get 30 less free throws than the other team and shoot 4 for 37? You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. That's what it takes to beat us. We are the better team, and there are things I want to touch on that they do. But first, before we get there, Flex dropped a bomb today. Will Devin Booker play Game 6? Excuse me. So Flex came out, sent a tweet, said fully expecting to come back tomorrow. Yesterday, he said fully expecting back tomorrow. Devin Booker is walking off the court. He's screaming, "I'm back," to the bench. I love that. And then this morning, Flex says he's going to play. Later on, the Suns officially came out and said that he's so far ruled out. Then Wojnarowski came out, said there's a lot of optimism he might be back for as soon as Game 6 or Game 7. Then the Suns media outlets, Dwayne Rankin, Gerald Bourguet, all those guys said, he actually might be coming back. He's out now, but he's going to give it a go. And then just like an hour and a half ago, I saw that he's going to give it a go in warm-ups tomorrow. If there's no setbacks, he will play tomorrow. So that's the update on Devin Booker. I want to ask you guys, 1, do you think Devin Booker plays? And 2, should he play?
Go ahead.
Who you want to go first? All right. I was having an argument about this in a group chat, so don't kill me. Do I think he plays? I think he does. And do I think that he should play? Yes. The only reason I say yes is because people want to say oh, I don't want him to come back until he's fully healthy. Dog, it's the playoffs. Nobody's healthy. So it's just that is one aspect of it. And 2, if he can pull his hamstring in Game 2 of the finals, play Game 3, and then play Game 4 whatever, and then fly to Tokyo to play in the Olympics, you can't play in one game in games. Miss me with that. So it's just yeah, you should play. I'm not giving you a pass. If you did all of that, and then on top of that, you put on top of it, you went to the Olympics and played and was actually playing defense out there. I can see if he was just out there just lollygagging, I'm just want to play a little bit of offense, just throw up a bunch of threes. If you watch any of those Olympic games, D Book was trying to lock up. That's where he learned his defense this year. He was out there really trying to lock up. And I'm pretty sure when it was happening in those practices, he was out there trying to lock up Kevin Durant. He was trying to lock up Jason Tatum and all that. So it's just you're using that hamstring, dog. So it's just I think you should play tomorrow, but I'm maybe in a limited role. Okay, cool. But like I said, I don't want to play with our food. I don't want to go to a Game 7. I don't want to, you know what I mean? So it's just let's just handle business and keep it pushing. That's
Boom shakalaka!
JJ?
No, I totally agree, Randy. What my dad used to say, because when I was younger, I'll get banged up in basketball and stuff. And he said, "Can you play?" I'm like, "I'm hurt, but yeah, I think I can get up the court." He's like, "All right, go ahead and play." And that, I've always implemented that, with life stuff. So Booker definitely has that mindset, and he's a dog, he's a killer. And if the medical staff clears him and he says he feels good, I trust his word for it, because he knows his body more than anybody else. He's the one that pulled himself out of the game. He knew he couldn't go up the court. He walked off by himself, and he felt comfortable going through this little rehab period and just, get healthy. I think a lot of it was precautionary, not, making it worse. So if he's healthy and he says he's good to go, fucking take the leash off him, man. But of course he's going to be in a minutes restriction. I'm definitely cool with having Booker come off the bench, kind of like how Curry did for half of this Nuggets series. I think that could be something interesting, because we've been slacking in the bench unit. I mean, to have someone as poised as Booker, come and play 15 minutes off the bench, I think that can really do a lot for us. So yeah, if he can play, fucking play, man.
I completely agree. Don't play with our food. Finish it. Go out, finish it, and come out with your ass on fire. Ass on fire. That's what you got to do in this game, and get every rebound, and again, go up by 10, 12, 15 points in that first quarter, and don't let up. Don't let up. So Booker needs to play. I mean, unless if he feels something in pregame, then he can't go. Then he can't go full speed, right? So
right.
It's all dependent on that. We're not doctors, yada yada yada. But everything that Randy said is on point, 100% on point. Real quick, the Nuggets are up 71-67, 2:30 left in the third, and I thought I saw a replay where it looked like Jokic was grabbing his hammy, and he's off right now. He is on the bench, not getting any treatment. But I thought he reached back there and grabbed it. I could be wrong. And then who is that? And then Curry hits a three, and it's a 1-point game with about 2 minutes left. Yeah, so we're hoping that that Denver can stretch that out. Obviously, the Pelicans, though, y'all. I didn't think they would be as feisty as they would be. I didn't think I would hate Alvarado more than Facu Campazzo. I didn't think he'd be on the level of Patrick Beverley, which he's not. He's getting there. But I think I definitely miss I was a little misguided thinking that they weren't ready and that Willie Green wasn't big enough for the moment. But at the same time, I don't know of any other adjustments they can actually make. You know what I'm saying? We've played different defenses on them. We're still, no, even when we're not hitting our shots, we're getting wide open looks. We just weren't hitting them. They're scrappy. They're doing all the full court press and Paul. They're doing all the things that they have to do to win the series. But I don't know if they have any more adjustments to be able to make. Whereas we're getting Booker back. We still have home court advantage. And I know that Monty can still do a few things here or there to change it up. So I don't think the Pelicans have anything left.
Can I ask you guys this? Because we had this conversation in the last pod. Is this series kind of exposing what I've been talking about in the sense of Monty is not the best X and O guy? Because I feel like there's a lot of things that just little stuff.
No.
I feel like why is Chris Paul bringing up the ball? Like if you know he was playing off the ball in the first quarter, first half, and he was balling, and then you want to have him bring it up full court to get more tired, and then like why we have ball handler, we have Aaron Holiday, we have Campaign. Why is Campaign playing so much? Because every time he touches the floor, we lose a 13, 15, 18 point lead, and that irritates my soul. So it's just like I don't understand. Like I said, I'm still gonna stand on that, but I guess for you guys, you haven't jumped ship yet.
No, not at all. I think the one thing Monty does is that he's slow to make adjustments.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's slow to make the adjustments. I would prefer to see it in game, like realize what is and what isn't working quicker, and be able to pull the trigger quicker. X's and O's wise, dude, no matter what, we're getting wide open shots this whole series.
Yeah, you're right. They can't guard that Spanish pick and roll. And I think that if Book does come back, I feel like he can do a better job than Cam Johnson.
Sorry, that is a term I actually have not heard. Did you just say Spanish pick and roll?
Spanish or Spain pick and roll, isn't it? I heard some people say it either way, so I was just like, it's like the double screen. Yeah.
Oh, when two bigs come up.
When the guard and the big, when the guard and the big, when it's DA or Book, or sometimes it's either Cam Johnson. Typically, they go for Cam Johnson, but they both set the screen. Cam Johnson pops out, DA goes low, and then typically like Cam Johnson's open every single time. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he hasn't been hitting, and I feel like if you throw Book back in that role, what it really is, I think he can hit those.
Ooh, DeMarcus Cousins with a 3 to end the third to go up 78-70, ending it on a 6-0 run. Attaway, feeling good with Jokic on the bench. That's the way to do it. I specifically said that on here. Is like I want to see a 2 big lineup where the point guard has 2 options: go left, go right, and pick which way he wants to go. That's exactly what happened. I know Monty's listening because everything we said came to fruition. And Roy's the same way. I want to see the Twin Tower lineup. I think we need to see more of it. I mean, we made a good run in the second quarter when we had 2 of them out there. Or was it at the end of the first? Maybe it was at the end of the first. I don't know.
Yeah, end of the first, beginning of the second.
Beginning of the second. It was somewhere around there. I loved seeing it, but sticking with the Pelicans, the rookies finally look like rookies. Herb Jones was in a blender. Herb Jones was in a blender that night. I mean, there were times where Chris Paul was going to his elbow and he wouldn't even fake the shot. He just knew that Herb Jones was going to fly right by. You know what I mean? He got him with the rip through a few times. It was so awesome to watch them finally act like rookies. So it's like we have enough tape of this team to be able to go out, dissect it and break it all down and do what we need to do. Like we hadn't played this team coming in. Let's think about that, y'all. We have not played this team with CJ McCullum.
Right.
We haven't played them like this. So this is a different team than what we saw earlier in the year, 100%. And they were just figuring it out. Now they're on a roll. Jackson Hayes thinks he's really something. Jose Alvarado really thinks he's something. I mean, I'm tired of hearing about the 8-second calls. Like, oh, wow, like this 23, 24-year-old guy has more energy than Chris Paul. Go figure, right? Who knew? Who knew that would happen?
Right.
That's dumb. And that wasn't even an 8-second call. I swear he got over and it was at 6
It was like 6 seconds. Yeah, it was like 6 seconds, but whatever. No, you're 100% right with that. With that double big lineup, when I saw Biyombo come out with what was it? Was it McGee first?
It
Or
was
Biombo?
it was JaVale and Da at first, and then it was
Okay.
JaVale and Biombo to end that little streak. But yeah, they were out there.
Yeah, those first 3 minutes with McGee and Aiden, it was fucking heaven on earth because it completely took Nance out because Nance isn't going to take it in on McGee, and Nance isn't going to pop out for a three or anything because now he's contesting the arc, and like Bi isn't going to drive in, McCollum's not going to drive in, Herb isn't either. So like they're just settling for these jump shots, and this is what we've been saying.
They're not a jump shot shooting team. They're not.
They're not. There's two guys on that team that are jump shotters and shooters, whatever. But yeah, as soon as Biombo came in, he was more of a nuisance than Nance. Like right away, Biombo picked up that foul, like pushing Nance. He said, "You motherfucker," and just made him know. Like he made him know, like I'm right here. And dude, Nance was completely taken out the game. Besides that bullshit, that shot he got right before the shot clock ended. Yeah, that was the only glimpse of Nance you saw that night. Yeah, that was some luck. But Biombo made his presence known when Nance completely took him out the game. And we called it, like, if you run this double big, Biombo can go to the line. He can close out on Nance or JV.
He can recover really well.
He can recover. He's good laterally. McGee, he bites on everything. That's why you keep him down low. That's why you send Aiden out. You bring in McGee, and you have Biombo take care of the dirty work when it comes to popping out.
The JaVale McGee experience for sure.
Yeah, like JaVale bites on literally everything. It drives everybody insane. But you're gonna get that with JaVale.
Randy, real quick, who has a more punchable face, Patrick Beverly or Alvarado?
I'm gonna go Beverly. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like after he broke Devin Booker's nose, I was just like, I want to hit him now. You know what I mean? So it's just like, yo, that was crazy. But yeah,
I'm gonna go Grayson Allen still. I'm still going Grayson Allen or Alex Len.
Yeah, but shout out to DeAndre Ayton though. Like he's been really holding it down. I feel like he hasn't been getting a lot of credit. But he's been holding it
if we had this DA last year, different story.
Yeah, DA's been the most consistent player on this team since the playoffs started, and he hasn't had a down game. He's been far and away the best. He's been practically locking down JV, making it really hard for him to get any rhythm going. Nancy's a little quicker when it comes to just picking the boards and stuff, but besides that, Nance isn't really doing much on the outside. But DA's been phenomenal so far, and yes, DA is fucking as of right now, he has that max right now. Absolutely,
I don't know.
He's been keeping us in.
You don't know yet.
He's been winning us games.
He got us by the nuts. He really does. Like he really and it's not even funny. Like
is it because he's a good player?
I don't know, man. Like I said, he's
the best center we've ever had in franchise history.
And he's the only one. He's like the main reason why we're up in this series to begin with.
Right.
So
in this series, yeah. So
in this series, I'm saying right now,
Bones Highland is limping off. He looks like he's really in pain. Bones Highland is limping off the court. 78-75. Denver with 10:30 left to go. He's leaving right now, and he's getting checked out.
Oh, but Evan, that guy we're talking to, that Pelican guy, like it's crazy, like how people overblow this 8-second thing. Yeah, it's kind of funny because like a lot of people hate Chris Paul for whatever the reasons. It's usually Warrior fans, but people just have this hate for Chris Paul and just hate to see him fail. But dude, you're running against not only refs but an 8-second thing. So any dingus can keep this 37-year-old point guard that likes to go at his own pace in the backcourt for 8 seconds.
Can we bring up Chris Paul while we're talking about that? A lot of stuff went out how his thumb was still hurting him, and he's just not right. I was listening to, I forget which Suns podcast, Valley of the Sun, I don't know, whoever it is. But they were saying last night they saw Chris Paul, on his left hand, he had 2 fingers taped, and one of the best guys in control of the ball. Like Chris Paul is one of the best dribblers of all time. Like he's not flashy with handles like Kyrie or AI, right? One of the best dribblers and possession dribblers of the ball. And he can do some crazy things, right? We've all seen it before. The fact that he's just losing his handle last night says, for this podcast, and I'll let you know who it is, Empire of the Suns, by the way. Empire of the Suns is what it is. And they said that says all you need to know is that he's losing his dribble and things like that are happening. So he's not 100%. 0 for 4 from 3 again. Randy, do you think he's 100%? I mean,
I don't think that. I mean, like, I think everybody's hurt or everybody has some ache and pain, but I feel like that, and that's what I'm talking about with Monty. Like that's a pride, that's an ego thing. Like why, if you know Chris Paul is struggling or whatever, I don't think that he's hurt. I think it's more of a fatigue thing because it's like I feel like that's when it like Chris Paul. If you're going up against him, if you know what you're doing, the main thing, if you're the opponent, you're gonna want to pick him up full court and tire him out before the fourth or whatever the case may be. So if you can do that in the first half, whatever, and I feel like he's just more tired than anything. You know what I mean? Getting picked up full court. And that's what I'm saying. Like Monty needs to let Jay Crowder or Mikal Bridges or somebody else bring it up and let him come off the ball.
We've seen that a few times, though. We did see Campaign and Chris Paul play together, and Campaign was bringing it up the court for what it's worth.
Yeah. Right. So it's just like, why not stick with that? Like, why go away from that? But I get it. Like, they're not going to bring it up every single time. So I get it. But
right. It does need to happen, I think, 5 to 10% more. In my opinion, for that to happen, that he does not need to be bringing it up every time. It's 83-79 with just under 9 minutes to go. By the way, I'll keep everybody updated on this one. Draymond Green just threw a pass and it hit Otto Porter right in the head. That was a horrible pass. We saw that in the night.
Was like that a lot.
Yeah, wasn't it Draymond the other night that threw it off of somebody's head too?
I think it was Clay.
Was it Clay?
Yeah, I think it was Clay.
Yeah. What a dingus. So game 6 tomorrow at 4:30 Valley time. Are you guys going to be able to get off work and see it?
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm definitely going to rush through the houses after treat that day. Yeah.
Right.
Damn straight. Damn straight. And just, thanks for everybody listening in. By the way, please hit the like button, share this out to everyone. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, our YouTube channel, ASAP Sports channel. And for our audio listeners, which we've been getting so many plays on the audio side, and we're rivaling what we see on the video side, on the YouTube side. So we appreciate everybody listening in. Please rate and review on that side as well, too, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play. All of that fun stuff. Tomorrow is going to be a fun day in sports, though. I am going to be live starting at 5:05 my time. That is 4:05 Valley time. We're going to have incoming Iowa State transfer to Arizona State, the tackle Joey Ramos. He is going to be joining us just to kick the whole party off. So we got a nice little interview going with some Sun Devil talk. I'm starting to look forward to Sun Devil football just because I like football, not because of anything that I think the team is actually going to do this year due to all the ramifications Herb Edwards and his squad have done so far. But I could be proven wrong. But we're going to have Joey on. We're very grateful that he could get on as well, too. Then we're going to have a live watch party of the Suns game. We're going to be joined by Chris Robinson, who was on just a few podcasts ago from the ASAP Sports Network. He's going to come on one of the halves, either the first or second half, join us. JJ is going to be there. And then guess what? When that game's over, we're going to talk the Arizona Cardinals draft. I have a feeling about the fourth quarter is when the Cardinals are going to be drafting. Wow, Jokic just went out and he's going to the medical bike. He's going to start riding a bike. So something he tweaked something, and DeMarcus Cousins is right back in, and Monty Morris almost gets an and one up too. So after the game tomorrow, we're gonna have the live watch party going on during the game and the draft. We'll keep everything updated. We've got Alex from 49ers Cutback. He's gonna join us after the game, and we'll talk draft stuff. Maybe we're gonna be celebrating JJ. I don't know. Have something ready for chugging with the fellas. He's definitely getting checked out. He's holding his back thigh. Jokic is, so it looks like another hamstring issue over there. So we have a lot going on tomorrow. We have a great night. It's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow. JJ, you're going to be joining us. Randy, hopefully you can join us at some point. If we're still going live when the game is over, hop on and celebrate with us as well too. It's going to be all good tomorrow. So yes, Roy, yes, DA deserves the max. Absolutely. My boy Albert, who was over here last night enjoying the fire with me, what's better, Suns and 6 or Suns and sex? Can we get all three at the same time tomorrow night? That would be ideal. Real quick, final thought on the Pelicans. CJ McCollum, the last 2 games, hasn't looked like the CJ McCollum of the first 3 games. Do you think we see is CJ just going through a slump now and he's not going to be able to get out of it in time? Are we doing things to make it more difficult? Granted, Mikal played like the Matrix last night. Or is he going to come back and just blow the top off of this thing and go for 35? JJ, let's start with you.
I mean, it's a little bit of both. Shamit, he was locked, he was locked in.
Surprisingly good last night.
Yeah, he was on McCollum's ass he wasn't switching off. And Shamit and McCollum they're built the same. So if McCollum was going to get a shot off, it was by a hair that he got it off. They're the same stature and everything. But Shamit did a great job contesting McCollum's outside shooting. McCollum only had a couple of open ones that he didn't hit. And then with Mikal, McCollum wasn't getting anything off, not anything he wanted at that. So, but at the same time, Brandon Ingram, he didn't have the best shooting night last night. Kind of like his first, I guess you can call dud of the series so far. He's been playing great, but I wouldn't count them out. The defense has been great. Willie Green has picked up a lot of things. Not only from working under Monty, but in the series especially, he'll make the proper adjustments. Maybe set a few more illegal screens from JV, and probably get some things going. Yeah, Hopefully they don't figure it out. I hope they have a collapse tomorrow night. And we just end up closing it out early, and so we can just have Aaron Holiday out there in the third quarter, so he can just run out the minutes.
Randy, talk to me about CJ McCollum, and also which. Now I'll save that to afterwards. Just talk about CJ McCollum real quick. I got another question.
Yes. So I feel like CJ McCollum right now, I don't know if you guys noticed it or not, but it seemed like he had a little bit of injury going on in the sense of I don't know, he grabbed his thumb and was holding his thumb like this kind of all night. I don't know if he jammed his thumb because it was right before. I don't know if he jammed. Okay. I don't know if he jammed his thumb. It was kind of maybe a quarter before Brandon Ingram, but I do think that the fatigue is starting to set in with the Pelicans a little bit. And then Brandon Ingram fell on his tailbone yesterday, and just what I mean. So I imagine but I still feel like the Suns are. Yeah, so I still do feel like he said in the comment, I do feel like the Suns are, even though we kind of took the lid off a little bit yesterday, I still feel like we're due for one of those games where it's just the Suns can't miss. You know what I mean? Where everybody's clicking and it looks like actual Suns basketball on the defense and offense.
That's tomorrow.
Side. But
that's happening tomorrow.
But yeah. But yeah, CJ McCollum has just been, I don't know if I'm a Pelicans fan, if I'm a little frustrated right now, because he's been kind of putting up concert numbers like James Harden, low key,
he's been awful on defense. I mean, I listened to 3 Suns podcasts, and they all were talking about how he was getting picked on, and I noticed it to a point last night, but I actually got caught up in the moment. And I really wasn't trying to pay attention to X's and O's and all that stuff. I really got caught up in the moment last night. So, and I don't do rewatches. I don't have time for that. I wish I did. I just don't. So I really didn't see that except for a handful of times, but they really went at it. Did you guys see did you guys see anything like that with McCollum and his horrible defense? Specs, what's up, bro? What's going on, Specs?
Mikal always tries to post him up. They always on a fast break. In transition, they see, the first option is to see if Mikal can post him up first, or whoever has him, if they can or not. But somehow, they either kind of show and kind of help him out so it doesn't really work out, or sometimes CJ actually get a foul, or he'll get a poke at the ball or something. But or Mikal might not get good position. I don't know if Mikal is the strongest guy to be trying to post up CJ McCullum, even though he's not that big either. But
longer.
Yeah, for sure.
Shoot right over him. So I'll take Mccullum. God, Mccullum's shot just looked so sick last night. Everything just looks smooth motion. Bones Highland is back in. Still no Jokic. Oh, there goes Peyton for 3 and makes it. Warriors officially up 2 with 7 minutes to go.
Come on, Nugs.
Gross. No, Sonia pod's not ending yet. We haven't even talked Arizona Cardinals draft. We still got 20 minutes we're going to be chatting on here. But I want to ask you guys, if you were to pick one of these 3 players to pop off this next game, who would you pick? Jay Crowder, Cam Johnson, or Cam Payne? Randy?
Cam Johnson.
Why?
Just because I feel like when he pops off or when he gets into a rhythm, it's ugly for everybody. Like it because I feel like he can I still think that his ceiling, I was having this conversation too, this argument. I think his ceiling is higher than Mccullum. Like, honestly. Like, I know Mccullum has a defense, but I think that, like, overall, I think that Cam Johnson could be better than Mikal Bridges. That's just my hot take of the day.
He's heating up.
Wow, interesting take. I want to touch on that just a little bit more, JJ, but Cam Payne, Jay Crowder, Cam Johnson. Who do you think is most likely to pop off tomorrow?
Cam Johnson. I saw this funny stat a little while ago. It was Cam Johnson's like shooting when it comes to playing on Thursdays, and he shoots literally lights out on Thursdays. And so, like history may repeat itself with that. And plus, Cam Johnson just needs it. He's been sort of in a shooting slump. He hasn't been shooting with confidence, not really necessarily getting the shot that he wants. But, he definitely needs a stellar night from behind the arc to get his confidence back, getting ready for those Maverick series if we move on. So, he needs it more than anybody. I can live without Jay Crowder hitting a 3 as long as he produces on defense and grabs boards and stuff. If Jay Crowder makes himself useful in every other aspect besides shooting, I can live with that. And with Cam Payne, he just needs to stop rushing drives. Yeah. What drives me crazy more than anything is wasted possessions. And Cam Payne did that a million times last night, and it was the only reason why the game went down to 10. It was him and Crowder causing all those fouls, getting the Nuggets in the bonus with like 6 minutes left in the quarter. So that's what was why the game was a lot closer than it was. So if Cam Payne isn't rushing his shot, letting everything play out, let everybody move and not just go in contested with 3 guys on him, like he's doing all right. He was 2 of 3 from 3 last night. He was shooting with confidence. He was hitting his free throws. Like, I can live with that. But Cam Johnson needs this night more than anybody because he's arguably our third best scorer, fourth, however you want to look at it.
I agree Cam Johnson could be it, but I think given the circumstances, Fabio hits it perfectly right here. I think it's going to be Jay Crowder. FJ Crowder and everything, and that gets him ready to go. Because of this situation, I'm saying Jay.
I saw a stat today, and Jay Crowder needs 11 more points to pass Anthony Davis in playoff.
I saw
points.
That too. Isn't that awesome? He's going to get it tomorrow. Hilarious. He's going to pass Anthony Davis. Cam Payne, I think, is going to have a better night, like a 4 for 5 night, but still end up with like 8 or 9 points, maybe 10 or 11 with free throws. But I think he's going to pop off next round. This is just kind of his little warm-up right now. But I think it's going to be Jay Crowder tonight. I still think Cam could do 3 for 5, but I think Jay might have one of those 6 for 8, 7 for 9. I mean, ultimately, Roy, I don't care who goes off as long as we win. At the end of the day, I don't care.
I'm so close to being in the boat of it's almost time to whisper in Cam Payne ear, we got to let you go. We got to let you go because I feel like let's look at the context of the situation. He was playing for a contract. He was in his contract year last year, and in the bubble, he was obviously playing for his livelihood. So it's like obviously you're gonna play lights out, or like you're gonna play like. And I feel like unless Cam Payne has somebody to light a fire in his ass, like there's like Javon Carter was another, or like Langston Galloway or Etwan Moore, like those dudes was like, if you're messing up, Monty's gonna throw in one of the three of those dudes. You know what I mean? And I feel like campaign was like, all right, for me to keep those dudes at bay, I need to ball out. You know what I mean? And I feel like Aaron Holiday can definitely light that fire under that ass. But like I said, I feel like now he got the 3-year contract. I just feel like, what do you like? You know what I mean? Like, what have you done? Like, really this season? Like, really? Like, let's get surgical about it.
I know. You're not
You don't
wrong.
want to show up in the playoffs.
You are not wrong, but
you don't
right
want to show
now,
up in the playoffs. Like we run.
I'm not having that conversation right now because I think I mean, you see him and McHale. Him and McHale are dancing together. I mean, him and Ayton are dancing together. I just think he's too much of a valley boy right now to do that. In the offseason, we can have a serious discussion. I mean, Jay, I think I told you who I wanted. I wanted TJ McConnell. I would have rather had TJ McConnell.
Mm-hmm. You did tell me that, yeah. I'm not opposed to it. I'm not.
I mean, just defensively, I thought, defense never goes away. Shooting and all that stuff can at times. And I thought TJ McConnell would have been a great fit, and he's a dude that could get out 2 or 3 steals. I mean, that's just me. I do want to see a campaign and Aaron Holiday play together tomorrow. And I want to see both of those guys get time with Chris Paul so Chris Paul doesn't have to take the ball off the court the whole time. I got thoughts on Chris Paul, but I'm not even going there right now. Before we get into any draft news, let's talk about Randy's comment. Cam Johnson potentially has a higher ceiling than Mikal Bridges. I understand where you would come from, but I don't see the shot creation quite yet. And he's a year older than Mikal Bridges. And he's 25 or 26. So at some point he's going to stop growing his game. So I don't see, I mean, I think he's great on the hesitation dribble drive. I think he's wonderful at that, but he doesn't really have a stop and pop game. He doesn't have the handles. I think Mikhail's got better handles than he does, like maybe just a little bit, but a little bit can mean a lot. And defensively, I mean, Mikhail's there. So Randy, explain why, please. I'm a full screen you too. Oh, you're kind of, your video's lagging a little bit, but your audio's perfect. So I won't put you full screen. Right. So go ahead though.
All right. Well, I feel like outside of, if you look at the measurements, right? Like they're both the same size, the same height, right? Cam Johnson's a little bit bigger. He's more athletic than Mikal, you know what I'm saying? With the dunks and all the other stuff. I feel like if Cam Johnson takes defense seriously, I feel like that can kind of put them at the same level. And I feel like you just said, if he can get that offense, like just like an offensive game, like more of a whatever he decides to do. But I feel like his offense is kind of held back just by the team, just because that's not what we need him to do. Like, we don't need him to create shots. We need him to stop and pop. And that's kind of what we asked him to do. Do I think that he's capable of doing more? Yes. Because I feel like when you watch the Knicks game and other little spurts of when it's just like, all right, like you're the guy, like we're going to give you the ball or whatever the case may be. I feel like he can come off like the screen and he can dribble a little bit or whatever the case may be. He can dribble and finish. You know what I mean? So it's just like they're kind of the same person. It's just like Mikal's just better at defense, because I feel like I said, they finish about the same at the rim. Like Cam Johnson has him a little bit more athletic. Mikal arms are probably more longer. His like anticipation is a little bit better. But like I said, I feel like if he takes defense seriously and he can kind of manage because I feel like the worst thing for shooters is the worst thing for shooters is if you have people bumping you. Like they have Cam Johnson running the 4. So it's like you're running into people that are posting you up, pushing you, and all that other stuff. And that's the worst thing for a shooter, just because like it just takes so much out of you. And if you're a shooter, then you know what I mean? Like if somebody's bumping you all night, it's just gonna throw off your shot. So it's just like if he can kind of manage and find like an in between, like I feel like I said, I still feel like his ceiling can be a little bit better. But
I've yet to see Cam Johnson win us a game with defense. And for me right there, it stops. We can have the conversations on the offensive side. And I get where you're coming from. I don't think we're asking him to do a lot, to do those shot creation type of things. We're not. That isn't his game. Can he do it? I think with practice, he definitely could. I think he still has a ceiling and a higher ceiling to be able to improve his game. But we've yet to see defensively him do the things that Mikal does. And for me, it just stops and ends right there. Yeah, go ahead, go ahead and leave and come back. We're not booting him because of a bad take, just bad audio right now. JJ, do you any validity to what he's saying? Darth Voida, thanks for coming in. He says no. He disagrees. I disagree. I don't think his ceiling is low by any means, just not as high as Mccullum's. JJ?
Yeah, I disagree with Randy. Randy has a lot of good points.
Sure.
So both of them are great. The twins and stuff. But Cam is yet to discover how deep his bag goes. He's not taking a lot of interior shots. He rarely drives in. He only drives in when he absolutely has to. He doesn't really shoot outside of the key. So we only really see him behind the arc. When it comes to defense, he's good. He's solid, but he's not Mccullum. Mccullum's back has gone hella deep this year with that turnaround fader midi in the paint. It's money every time. Mccullum's three is lethal. He was 4 or 4 last night. I mean, that's just a typical Mccullum night. And Mccullum goes on stretches of games where he's not as apparent, but that's on the reliance of everybody else going off. I think Mccullum can kind of go off on any moment. Cam Johnson's yet to hit that sort of strive and stuff. I think as of right now, Mccullum is by far the better player. But not to say Cam Johnson can't surpass him. I think Cam Johnson can be turned into that Devin Booker, taking it, at the corners and taking those middies, or driving in. Why do you think Cam Johnson gets all these wide open dunks or dunks and these ISO situations? Because no one expects them to be driving in. So it's kind of like the campaign effect, like Randy's talked about a couple times. Now they're scouting teams. So
Nuggets up 4, 1:33 left. Steph Curry just hit a layup.
Oh, come on, Nuggets.
Yeah, I agree with all these takes except the higher ceiling. But if Cam Johnson starts over Jay Crowder next year, which a lot of people assume will happen, then we can have a real conversation.
That's development time.
Yep, we'll do a little apples to apples there. So let's switch it up a little bit. I'm feeling confident about the Suns. I think a lot of people are. We finally broke out and played Phoenix Suns basketball to a point, even though we didn't shoot as well as we could have. But I'll take 37%. I mean, what are we talking about there, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to continue tomorrow. I think we found a groove. We found something that works. I don't know how much Willie Green's going to be able to adjust at this point. I think he's shown his cards with this team and his personnel, unless BI comes back with a 45, 46 point game, which he can do. But let's see how that tailbone is. If it's sore, let's see how that finger is as well too. JJ, I've got to ask you this question. Who do you want the Arizona Cardinals to draft at number 23? Sonia, this is officially your exit, Sonia. You can leave.
So I'm stuck between two guys, both receivers. I think we need a wide receiver too, more than anything. Jameson Williams. I loved him at Alabama. I think he's really solid, but who knows?
Don't do it.
If he's gonna who knows?
That's damaged goods.
Back from this injury. Yeah, he is damaged goods right now, but he's a really good receiver, and it's not like he's gonna have a huge workload. In a sense, that's on the thought of D-Hop isn't gonna have an injury-riddled year like he did this year. And then
agrees.
Then the other guy is George Pickens. I really like him coming from Georgia. I think he's a really solid wide receiver too. He can even be a wide receiver one on most NFL teams. I think that's probably the safer bet. But in a perfect world, I would go with Jameson Williams.
Totally understand that one. I would prefer Gary Payton II just hit a 3 to go up 5.
Ooh, that might be a game.
Gary Payton. I can't believe that. I'd like them to trade up for Drake London. I would love to see Drake London in the Cardinals. I would love to see that.
That's a Packer
Please,
right
like
there.
all day, all night. I would love to see that. I would settle with Treylon Burks from Arkansas. I'm good with that as well too. And if we end up having to go defensive side, I want to go after Jordan Davis, big number 99 on that Georgia D line. I would love to see a player of that caliber as well too. So those are the guys I want to, but ultimately, bro, we need skill position. Here's Curry for another layup, goes right in, 29 seconds left. 5-point game. Oh, he just did this. Oh, that's cute, Steph. That's cute that you guys are having a hard time against the Nuggets. That's really cute. 99-94. That's awesome. Good job. I'm looking forward to Memphis in 6 over Golden State for what it's worth, but we're not going there. But Cardinals, we need playmakers. We need somebody that can make an impact this year. That's why I'll probably stay away from the Bama wide receiver, because I want an impact now, and he's probably not going to be back till September, October, and who knows what you get with him for the rest of the year. That's more of a later pick or a later down the road type of pick that you're looking for, not necessarily this year, so it worries me a little bit. For the Packers, though, are you in the same boat? Do you want a wide receiver as well for your boys?
Nothing but wide receivers. Maybe a cornerback.
And that's a reason why right there, I feel like the Cardinals need to jump up, because there's going to be a team right before you that wants to pick a wide out and a couple. I mean, there's going to be a run on them.
Just because we want to doesn't mean that's going to actually. I mean, we've seen what the Packers have done in the draft, so I don't have the full.
So you'll probably draft an interior lineman, right?
Yeah. Most likely, or something we do not need.
I swear to God, if we draft a linebacker, I swear to God, I'm a fine Kime. I'm not gonna say
Team Devin Lloyd. Woo!
Devin Lloyd.
I'd be so upset at that, man.
Nah, I like buddy from Ohio State, Chris. What is his name? Chris Olave.
I would love Chris.
Oh
Olave.
Yeah, he's great.
I would love Chris Olave. So for me, he's my number 2.
He's probably going to go early.
Number 1 is Drake London. 2 is him. I love Pickett. He'd probably be my 3. 3 for Jokic. No good. Foot was on the line. Pass out to Stephen Curry. Foul at 20 seconds. Ball game.
Crazy how close that game was. Kind of says a little bit. Not the Warriors.
But yeah, I liked Jameson Williams out of Alabama, but I feel like with the ACL and just his style of game, like he's just a speedy guy. You know what I mean? And I feel like I don't know how fast. I mean, I feel like football players typically recover faster from ACL injuries for whatever reason. But I just feel like if speed is your thing, and you tear your ACL, like I'm looking at you like, no.
Yeah, I mean,
I get that.
You're not wrong, but I want somebody that's going to be healthy to start the year, so that we can
exactly
with a bang.
He tore it in January, so it's just like I don't know.
Again, reminder tomorrow, 4:05 Valley time. We are starting. We're going to be joined by Joey Ramos, the Iowa State transfer to Arizona State. That's from the Valley, plays tackles, has got 2 more years of eligibility. He's going to be joining us, so I'll get to talk to him for a little bit. Going to do a live stream of the entire Suns Game 6 while monitoring and watching the NFL draft as well too. And then when the game is over, we're going to be joined by our good friends at 49ers Cutback, Alex, and potentially Ant as well too. I'd love to get Ant on as well. And we're going to be talking all things NFL draft to round out the night. Hopefully Randy will join us. I mean, if it's a celebration, I'll send it out to Specs. We'll get everybody. Maybe when John is done over on Suns Jam, he can come over and join the party as well too. So it could be a celebration. We might have to make some more adjustments for a potential Game 7, but I just don't see it. I feel it, Suns fans. Right. I feel it, and I feel like we're going to break out even more. And I don't think it's going to be particularly close tomorrow. I think it could be like a 20-plus point blowout. I really do. Hoping for it. Jesus. Randy, leave us with some tidbits, some little food for thought. What do you got for us?
No more campaign minutes. I'm just ready for tomorrow, man. So I don't know, man. Like I just been so locked in. Like I don't remember being this anxious last year. Like, do you guys remember being this anxious? Like,
yeah.
Like I don't know. Like
every series,
dude. Scared.
Every series.
No, not the Nuggets series. I was definitely not scared. Like
No,
I
not
was
the Nuggets. Not the Nuggets. The Clippers, I didn't feel as nervous because we were in control the whole time, and the Lakers want Lakers to start out. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't nervous after game 1. I don't think. Like after Book was it a 40-point whatever. I was like, I think we'd be all right.
That game 1 was a good taster. I was like, okay, yeah, like
We'll
I
be
think
all
we're
right.
in. Yeah. So
Yeah. JJ, you got anything for us?
let's just pray for the best outcome for us tomorrow. If we close it out, we get like a 4 or 5 day rest until
Facts.
Monday.
Facts.
If Dallas wins tomorrow, Suns fans, if we win, talk your shit and just move on. Job's not finished. Getting out the first round isn't a big accomplishment, especially since we went to the finals last year. This ain't nothing, but show respect to the Pelicans if we close them out tomorrow. I think they have a solid squad. Their squad doesn't reflect their fans. Their fans are kind of whatever.
Trash.
They don't know necessarily what they're watching right now. That they have a very solid squad, and they can't take a compliment. But
he's a fire.
But no, if the Suns close it out tomorrow, come join us. We'll all celebrate. Like my prediction to going in was Suns in 5. That was in count that Booker was healthy and stuff, but Suns in 6, still ends up.
I love it.
So, let's just keep it going. Job's not finished, and let's just one game at a time, guys.
Can we talk about this for a hot second? You remember how like people were like, "Oh, Devin Booker's not the MVP because he's not the best player," and now we lose him, and it's like, "Oh, like you guys."
That's put to bed now.
Like,
he's your best player. You can't win without your best player. They moved the goalpost for him, man.
I'm telling you,
They moved the goalpost.
Laker fans are like, "Oh, remember when we lost AD?" It's like y'all didn't have AD like the whole year.
It doesn't
We
even
played like 40 games.
We're talking about something completely different. Y'all built your team around a guy that is injury prone versus somebody that just pulls up with a hammy. There's a big discrepancy there. Go ahead.
Oh, and AD didn't drop 30 before he pulled his hammy. So, but Booker is a different breed. So, it was unexpected. He's not a guy that gets injured. I think he only missed 11 games this season. So it just kind of came out of nowhere. And the Pelicans are a really good team, especially with, Brandon Ingram being built the way that he is and CJ McCollum just going off every time we play against him. So the Pelicans have a solid squad, man. And in a couple years, especially when Zion comes back next year, I think they're going to be a very, very dangerous team.
He ain't gonna be there. He's getting traded. I guarantee it.
Zion? I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Guarantee it.
I think there's too much there to
trade.
trade.
I don't know where he fits in. Like I don't know. Does
He
fits in great in New York when they trade him for Julius Randle.
Dude, if they trade him there with RJ,
I feel like Julius Randle would be a better fit for the Pelicans, though. To be honest, because I feel like Zion just takes up a lot of space in the paint, and it's just like you already got Valanciunas right there, so it's just like Jackson Hayes.
We'll see.
But Randall's been that guy for a little too long
delegated.
now. He's been too much of the number one option.
And there's only one ball.
Yeah, so if he comes back to New Orleans, he's going to be a third, fourth option. For some reason, Pelican fans in this Twitter space I was in last night was calling McCullum a third, fourth option. I'm like, no, he's not. He's not. He can go off for 40 any given night. So
he can get cold, but he is not a third or fourth option. This is what I'm talking about, man. Pelicans fans are dumb. I mean, they've only had a basketball team for 15, 16 years, so they really don't even know what they're watching.
Right.
Us Suns fans, we've seen a lot of shit years, dude. We can tell when teams are shit. You guys have a solid squad, man, and us being the number one seed with our injured primary scorer that bails us out a lot when it comes to just other shit, and him being gone, of course we're gonna lose a game or two. That's why I didn't hit the panic button. And I was nervous going into a couple games just because Willie Green knows our system. If Willie Green wasn't under Monty for so long, I wouldn't be fucking tripping. This series would have been over by now. So it's really whatever.
Appreciate you, sports guy. We still got to get you on sometime, bro.
And I was thinking too, like we gotta stay away from the national media. Like no ESPN, no Fox Sports. Like,
No,
they wrote us all off.
Like
they wrote us all off. No.
Yeah, like we cannot pay attention to that. Like we got to stay with the homegrown stuff and just lock in because
y'all need to be listening to Suns Jam Session. Y'all need to be listening to Empire of the Suns.
He's on fire.
Flames. He's on fire podcast. Coast to Coast podcast. You guys need to be listening to these guys. These are the ones that know what's going on. Don't be listening to the national media. You're going to get a lot more from us than you will from them. But I've been telling everybody since I woke up Monday morning, Suns in 6. I got a few people DMing me asking me why I thought so or if I knew something. Vlogs called me out. It's like, I don't know, coach, I'm not feeling it. I'm like, I'm telling you, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. Yeah, to a point. I don't think their PHNX Suns segment is the best on PHNX. Their Cardinals is a beast. Suns segment is honestly not my favorite. No disrespect to anybody there. It's just the show flow and the content that I prefer. But yeah, go check them out too. Much respect to them. But I've been telling everybody Suns in 6 since Monday. I felt it, and I feel it tomorrow as well too. Believe, some fans. Believe. And we're going to get going to where we need to go. The Diamondbacks have won 5 out of the last 8 real quick. 5 out of the last 8.
Did you guys beat the Dodgers?
They beat the Dodgers today.
Twice.
Take that ugly ass hat off your damn head, Suns fan Randy.
We D-backs fans today, baby.
I did see that. I did see that the Dodgers. I don't think it's in the
burn that hat.
I did see that the Diamondbacks.
Make that fire alarm go off in your house again and burn that hat.
I know. Get your dog barking, bro. Let him know.
Hey, maybe put the backwards. Maybe it's less offensive.
Our first series win. Technically, our first series. I mean, you got to start somewhere. Play the Cardinals tomorrow. I want to be excited for the D-backs. I want to watch them. But, man, Ketel Marte batting 148 is really tough to swallow right now. Pavin Smith, your number 2 hitter at 260. Like, the offense is dookie. The pitching is superb. Play Seth Beer as much as you can because he is our best hitter right now, and call up some of those young dudes like Corbin Carroll. And that's all I'm going to give on the D-backs right now because I need to see more. Dalton Varsho is looking decent. Shout out to David Peralta. He has 100 home runs as a Diamondback. So that's awesome. I love David Peralta. But get some damn hitters and stop trading guys like Goldschmidt and Starling Marte and AJ Pollock and
your best players.
And anybody that's effing good that's done things on this team. So, but that's it, y'all. I'm excited. I'm excited for tomorrow. I'm excited for the podcast tomorrow. Join us at 4:05 Valley time for Joey Ramos for Game 6 postgame, NFL Draft postgame. It's going to be an absolute blast. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. We appreciate you. Man, Game 6 tomorrow. Go Suns. Let's go.
Get it, guys.
All right.
Pray to God, man. Pray.
Hey, and I'm not going to be here next week. I got to go on a trip, so let's make this happen.
None of them can hang, running with the gang. No need to explain. I pull up, then it's they cannot contain me moving through the lane. Every little setback, I step back and then it's none of them can hang, running with the gang. No need to explain. I pull up and it's they cannot contain me moving through the lane. Every little setback, I step back and then it's
I gave them nuggets and knowledge. They tried to put nicks in my armor, but I've been mellow since college. Made this Vixen a mama, and I'm still blazing trails out here amidst all the drama. I keep going out of love, not conditions or commas. Plus the hook to fly, new Kareem, smooth as dreams, the new Hakeem. Moving screen, I'm through the seam. Who the scene, the Luke, the lean.